This is Wake and Hustle. Join us every week as we take you on a journey to listen to real stories
by real entrepreneurs with a powerful blend of motivation to keep you thriving. Hey y'all, welcome to Wake and Hustle, our weekly podcast where we will highlight entrepreneurs from all walks of life. My name is Lovie Hogan. I am your co-host alongside Alicia Womack. Yes. We will be diving in each and every week, giving you the tips, the resources, highlighting people that you are going to want to learn from and who will inspire you on your journey. Either you're an entrepreneur or a 9-to-5er. I want to let Alicia tell you all about herself, how she got started in this space, and what makes her unique.
Yes, unique. I like that though. As she stated, guys, I am Alicia Womack, real estate investor based out of Cleveland, Ohio. That is pretty much what I do for a living. I find properties. I help other people find properties. I help other people make money. Have doors. Yes. So that's what I do. Recently, I have actually jumped into the fix and flip space.
Yes.
So that's what I've been doing here lately.
You just closed, didn't you?
I did.
How was that?
Amazing. You know how it goes with the whole real estate world. It's such a headache leading up to it, you know, but it's so worth it at the end. It's worth it at the end. So I'm grateful. We are on to the next property.
Yes, go girl.
Yes.
Amazing. So as Alicia stated, she's an investor. Myself the same. I started in the real estate space as an investor. I am now a licensed agent with EXP. I also do some of the similar things as Alicia, fix and flips, help other people find funding, help them with their flips. I'm all about what I just realized yesterday. I am queen partner. Yes, so it's no wonder that I'm here with Alicia. I love partnering in and empowering other people. It helps make me feel like I have the confidence to do it, take some load off of myself, and then I get to make a difference in somebody else's life. Yes. So I truly enjoy that space, and that is what I'm looking forward to for 2024. I met Alicia several years ago in an entrepreneur space, similar to this, but it was on fashion design, right? Yeah. She was doing a boutique. Yep. And I had just came to Cleveland, and I'm like, I gotta do something. I have these high hopes of being a model. Who knows? I might still be, but I was like, she had, I think, advertised on social media somewhere about needing a model, and I was like, hey, I'll do it. And it was dope. We didn't have a plan. We didn't have.
Never do.
That's not even how it's supposed to go now that I'm learning. The plan is there. You're supposed to have it, but you don't sit and wait, right? So she's like, we gonna film or we gonna shoot some content and wearing our clothes. And we, from there, has cultivated a relationship. Years have went by. We ended up being back in this space and needing some accountability. I had no idea what Alicia was working on. She kind of knew a little bit about what I had going on, but I had joined another accountability call and was really stoked about it. So I'm like, oh, I'm on this accountability call. And she was like, hey, what's that called? I'm like, well, it's more so for real estate, but you can join. So when she joined, I was like, well, I didn't even know she would be interested. So why would we start our own?
Right.
And from there,
we started Wake and Hustle. That's exactly what happened, Love Bug. She was talking about an accountability call that she was joining for the morning. I wanted parts of it. And we went ahead and just started our own accountability call. Like you said, no plan. It was the end of December 2022.
Yep.
And we met up, we talked about it, and it was on Zoom. And we linked up every single weekday, Monday through Friday at 7:25 with other like-minded individuals. And we just kept each other accountable.
Yes.
You know, we kept each other afloat. We pushed each other and ensured that we tackled our goals together as a group. And as we evolved and as we grew, we realized with us, we have to push a little farther. And that's how we ended up here.
Yep.
With our podcast. So.
Yes, we realized in that call, I think it hit us and dawned on us that we were reaching who knew and wanted to be held accountable, but we were missing on so many other entrepreneurs. We had so many different people joining our call that had different things going on, not even just entrepreneurs. We had 9-to-5ers, we had entrepreneurs, we had truck drivers, we had so many people.
Moms.
Yes. Ooh, girl.
That's a job in itself.
You struck a nerve. No. So we were like, what else can we do? You know, you never stay in the same space. I know for us as entrepreneurs, it's all about growth. It's all about expansion. So that's where the weekly podcast, and every week we are looking forward to highlighting as many dope entrepreneurs locally, globally, in every space that needs a platform to share what they have to offer, what they're learning alongside their journey. And I think have also spoke about this. It's not just entrepreneurs. If you're doing something that no one else is doing, or you're doing something that people are doing, but we don't know how you did it, reach out to us. We want to highlight you. We want to have you on this show. We want to show the world that it's possible, no matter what space that you're coming from.
Yes.
In doing so, I know I have grown into a place where I did not even imagine myself being, starting off as an entrepreneur, queen partner with somebody else. And I'm like, oh my God, what else am I capable of? And I look up, it's like, I'm capable of anything I want.
Literally.
So here we are.
Yes.
So excited to be here.
Yes.
So I want you to tell us a little bit, Alicia, about your journey on how you got started entrepreneurial, how you got into the real estate space.
Of course, I would love to. Okay, so my story isn't like the typical, I literally fell into this space. So
okay.
My hands has always been in a few different pots. You know, I've always been like the ultimate hustler, but I think overall, a lot of those things are just that, hustles. Like, you don't want to just have hustles. You want to have something solid. Mm-hmm. So when real estate came into play, it worked out for me. So how this came about, my boyfriend, he is in real estate. So when we started dating, you just automatically become the assistant.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened. I became the assistant. And a lot of the stuff that I know now about real estate, I learned because of this relationship. Okay. Prior to, it's very crazy because you don't realize until you jump into a certain field how close it is to you. And until I actually got into real estate, I didn't realize how many licensed electricians, contractors, plumbers, real estate agents,
cleaners,
literally. Like, I even knew somebody who practically owned a title company. I didn't really feel like that had any type of value towards me because that wasn't the space that I was in. So once I became the assistant and I started kind of like helping out with different stuff, I started realizing like, I like this. Okay. I enjoy this. Yep. And this is something I can see myself doing full time. So that's exactly what happened. He had different mentorships because he's a mentor himself. Okay. Where he was offering for people. And I was like, when you do your classes, I'm going to do the classes too. And, I didn't really take advantage of the fact that he was in it. And, I learned for myself, with or without type of thing, So regardless if I was in the mentorship class for that day or not, outside of that class, I was putting in my own work. Outside of him, I was putting in my own work, gaining my own knowledge. And I've talked Lovie ears off 1,001 times about this real estate stuff on so many different aspects. There's so many different lanes with this. Yeah. And Lovie has been on my back about becoming licensed as well. So that's also one of the goals for this year because you just learn as you go. What directions that kind of like help. So I think for the most part, that's where I'm at. I'm an investor now. I've started fixing and flipping. I kind of transitioned from the wholesale space because that's where I started doing wholesaling. And I transitioned into there. I still do it. Okay. It can't break away anywhere. Yeah, because the wholesaling is what kind of like helped getting into the space now of the buying these homes, fixing them and flipping them. Okay. I found my own properties. So, there is no middle person that I have to kind of like go through. I am that person. And that's a part of the reason why I'm also going to get licensed so I can list my own properties next. So that's really my journey. That's my story, Love Bug. And you inspired that as well.
I appreciate that.
Of course. So tell me a little bit about you. Tell me how you got here.
Yeah, so same with you, in many different hats. I started off in the insurance industry. I had a death in my family. My brother was murdered in St. Louis, and I felt that not having life insurance and learning that insurance was an entrepreneurial space that kind of sit well with me, not having to clock a 9 to 5. It was a story I was meant to tell. So I got my insurance license. I failed that miserably, like 3 times. I was like, oh my God, but I meant to do this. So I held on to that. While being in a relationship, my boyfriend at the time, my fiance at the time, he was saying like, oh, I'm gonna buy a house. He was lying when we first met, first of all. Like, he was a contractor and he had all these things going on. I'm like, okay, cut the shit. You're not a contractor. But he's like, I'm gonna got some money. I'm gonna buy a house. I'm like, all right, I got a couple dollars. buy the house. So he bought the house, but I'm still selling my story. I have to educate these people about insurance because it's my story. Realizing I looked up, I was more indulged into his houses, what he was doing, learning all of that, walking that journey with him. I wasn't even thinking about insurance. I wasn't even doing insurance anymore. So I had to make that hard choice, like, what is it that you love? What is it that you really are enjoying? And when it came down to the reality of it, real estate was that.
Yeah.
So he had been pushing me the whole time I was doing insurance. He was telling me all the time. And I thought he was just being negative. It's like, that insurance is not the lane. You need to get into real estate. You need to get your license. I'm like, yeah, okay. I got this journey. I have this story to tell. And it was not that I realized how triggering selling insurance was and wasn't allowing me to heal. I said, you know what? I am going to do exactly that. I'm so deep into this real estate. I started knowing it back to back every day, all day. All I was doing was real estate. So I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and get my license. So I did that. I did not fail my test. I passed the first time. I studied. No one had to tell me to study. It just came to me so gracefully that I was like, what was I thinking all this time? So now from then, getting my license, I had to learn how to be an agent, which was exciting and fun. I started off at KW, switched over to Icon, co-work with EXP. I met wonderful people. I've networked. I've been in spaces, started women investment groups. I have just blossomed into who I am now, and realizing even just yesterday that I'm queen partner, right? Yes. I had started out with him. I've partnered in with other people, grown so many different things. I'm like, real estate is it. It's where it's at. It's what I love doing. You don't have to tell me to do it. I'm waking up every day with a smile on my face. I love what I do. I love the difference that I make. And it's just really excited to be here and keep inspiring people. I'm not sure exactly how big this can go, but I know it's going far. So that is how I got started, and I'm excited with the you getting licensed. I'm really excited for that, and I'm really excited that you realize the power that can bring. You know, everyone does not need a license to sell real estate. Yes, we know. But if you have your license, if you are in the fix and flip, if you are able to use that resource to elevate your business, it's not ever going to hinder you. It can help you. And for me, what I found is going through the CE group, I was able to do that on my time. As being a mom, having different, things I had to balance. I'm like, how can I do this and that? And having that online schooling really, really helps. So I have a link I'll share in the bio with you guys that will give you 40% off if you guys are interested in becoming a licensed agent or any of those spaces in real estate. No matter what state you're in, you can use that and elevate your career in real estate.
That's so sweet of you.
Yeah.
That is it, because there's so many people out here, who are interested in real estate, because real estate is a big lane. There's so many routes that you can take when you dive into the real estate space. And like you said, you don't have to be licensed, to be in real estate. But in the lane that we're in, it does us so much justice. By just going ahead, getting licensed, we save so much money. Like, all money in is the goal, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The less you pay out and the more you learn, like what I learned when I became an agent as opposed to just being an investor, there's so many other sectors that I've been able to tap into, from the funding, from the resources, from the networking, from the other agents. Like, yes, I could find my own house, but if I work and network with other agents who have housing, I don't have to do all that work. Now I got more time to fix and flip the house. Now I got more time to queen partner with someone else because I now built that relationship. So it added value. And it didn't take away in any spectrum at all. So I'm a fan.
I love it. Super, super dope. Even when you speak on like partnering. Yeah. And that's something that you learn as you go, especially in the real estate space. You learn this as you go. When you partner, there's so many things that can be accomplished.
Oh my gosh. I realized too, trying to do it all by yourself is so difficult. It's so much pressure. It's things you're gonna forget. I'm only one person, you know what I mean? But when you have that partner, it's like, okay, you're right, I did forget that. Oh, you're doing that, so I can do this. Or this is my strong suit. Let me just kill it here. That's your strong suit. Let you kill it here, and then look at the final product.
And that's the art when you get a partner, though. Like, what am I strong at? What am I strong at? What value can I add? What do I need? Where am I weak at?
Exactly.
I think that's the part. Where am I weak at?
Who wants to say that out loud?
Me. Where am I weak at? Where are you weak at? Because that's where you have the ability to grow, when you're able to like recognize, like, I'm not good with this.
No.
And just take it for what it is. You know, we all want to be 100% in everything. That would be ideal, right? But the moment that we realize that we're not, and it's okay. You know, where am I weak at? What are my strong points? What are my low points? And tackle it from there.
Yep.
And it sounds like, for the most part, that's kind of what you enjoy when it comes down to the partnership side of things.
Absolutely. I'm very avid in being transparent and authentic. I know I'm not good at everything, but what I'm good at is all I want to focus on. That's how I thrive. So I love partnering in. I'm really excited to be partnered in with you into the journey that we have. What I do want you to tell everyone that I know is like the number one question, because I hear it all the time. How do we find deals? How do we find houses?
Well, it's a secret. No.
Yeah. Give it a little bit of the secret, just a little bit. You got to get her course for the rest.
So how do I find houses?
I don't know anything about real estate. How can I find a deal? Help me, please.
Help you. Okay. So what I do is I build relationships. I talk to people. I walk around with shirts that says I buy houses cash with my number and things like that on them. I talk. No one knows what you're doing if you don't tell them, right?
True.
So a lot of the deals that I get are literally just referrals from people saying, hey, my taxes are here. I can't afford it. You know, I need assistance. I'm trying to sell, or, you know, my grandmother passed away. No one wants the house. I know that you're into this. You know, when I first started, I used to do something called skip tracing. And skip tracing is pretty much when you find a property that you're interested in, you figure out who owns this property, right? And you reach out to these people to say, hey, I see you have house at 123 Main Street. It's just been sitting. I'm in the area. I'm interested. Whatever your spiel may be, I want this house. What exactly is it that you're doing with it? And then from there, they kind of let you know, like, I'm interested in selling it or I'm not. And lately, it hasn't been that way. It's been a lot of referrals, a lot of word of mouth. And that comes from the relationships that's being built. You know, and kind of like setting it, if this is what you're into, in whatever space, not even just real estate, whatever it is that you're doing, you have to make yourself an incredible person in whatever it is whatever that space may be.
I love that. Being creditable and putting your word out there. So if I'm new in real estate, what you're telling me is I got to tell people. I got to open up my mouth and say, I want to invest in real estate. I'm looking to invest. I'm an investor or something of that, right? Is that what we're saying?
I'm looking to it, not even because realistically, when you're trying to invest, I mean, you just can't wake up and tomorrow and say, I'm an investor. There's a lot that goes into it. But if you're looking to pay attention to what's in your neighborhood, start in your neighborhood. Look next door. Is it an empty house? Is it a bando? Is there any traffic going to that house? And a lot of times, especially when you start in your neighborhood or where you grew up, essentially, you know most of the people in this area. You know these houses. This person lived this for X amount of years. That person died. Think like that. Think who owns these houses. That person may have passed on. Who are their children? Who are their grandkids? I know such and such. I'll be seeing them let me ask them when I see, and just ask. Literally, it's that simple. Just ask. You just never know what somebody has going on. I tell this story too. And I told you this the other day about the house across the street from me. I've been living in this house 2 years, and me and my neighbors, we talk. And one day I just happened to see a moving truck, and I was like, hey, what's going on? And she's like, oh yeah, I'm selling. And I'm like, and you didn't tell me? But I never told her that I'm in real estate. She didn't even know. She had no idea. I have been living in this house 2 years. This lady had no idea that this is what I do for a living, because we've never had those conversations. In my head, she's my neighbor. She owns her house. She ain't going nowhere. We right here. We talk about stuff all the time, not knowing that when we're done having our conversation outside, she goes in the house with her husband and they're looking for other houses to move into while listing this one. I'm having the wrong conversation.
Right. You're not telling people what you do. I love that. I think that is a gem that is slept on a lot. People are not realizing just how simple it is to get started by telling people your intent, what you're interested in, what it is you do, what you're interested in doing. You have no idea the person you're standing next to. You know, it's just, I know we think at it like, oh, I got to get in the network room. I got to get in these rooms. Sometimes you're already in the room. Literally. You're just not telling the people around you what you're doing. And I know for me, when I've been in these entrepreneur space, from insurance to real estate and all of the trainings and things that I go through, they tell you to work your sphere. Your sphere could literally be your neighbor.
Literally.
Like it could literally be your neighbor, the mailman, the guy we all got our corner store that we go to. We all got our favorite gas station. We all got our favorite, morning routine.
Yep.
That can be the person that you tell it to. Just that simple. You don't know the relationship that can be built there.
Absolutely. You have to speak up.
Okay.
And if it's something that you're deciding to do it. Be intentional with how you're doing it. So that way people can think about you. When it's time, like, oh, I remember such and such said or such and such do. And when you're walking in that and it's not like an intermittent thing, like I'm doing it here, then I fell off because I felt like it was too hard.
Right.
Because real estate is not easy per se.
Oh,
It's not an easy road at all, but you have to be willing to kind of like stick it out.
Yeah, it's
Stick it
attainable.
out. Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
For sure. And I think when you're thinking of real estate too, I know one of the biggest things that we focus in on Wake and Hustle, one of the biggest things we have focused in on this past year is writing your stuff down, right? So like definitely tell people what you're doing. Share to everybody. You wear the shirt, tell people, post it on the first tag of your Instagram every week when your first story of the day. However you get out there and get your word of mouth out there, do that, but also write it down.
Yeah.
Make it real. Put it in your mind and write it down. It's just something that happens. I've read it somewhere. I've heard it somewhere. I do it myself and I know the power in it. It's just like, listen, this is my idea. This is my plan. And then this is how I execute. So don't just keep that being a thought in your mind. Put it on pen and paper so you can see how to accomplish it. And not just once. Do it as often as you have to. Every day. I know we focus in on that a lot while we have our notebooks, while we have our planners. I don't know about y'all, but I'm an advocate planner person, writing it down, keeping it so I can see it. If you can see it, you can believe it, you can achieve it. Is that right, Kim?
Yes.
But no, for real, seriously, you need to write it down to make it real. It's an idea. It has to become a reality.
Yes, and that's something that we've pushed though the entire year. And I love that, for us, especially transitioning, because we weren't supposed to, I'm not going to say we weren't supposed to be here, but this is not our thought when we started this.
No.
When we started Wake and Hustle, it was literally, we need to hold each other accountable. And we know some other people that want to be held accountable too. So we'll include everybody for free. Let's just all get on a call. And I think for us, for 365 days, we were responsible.
Yes.
I felt responsible for a group of people.
Yes.
In a way. I have to get up every morning at a certain time and be on this call because there's a group of people that's looking and waiting patiently to be held accountable.
Yes.
And to be pushed.
I loved it. That year was amazing. And I took away so many gems from that.
Yes.
And I agree that sitting there and being responsible gave a sense of surety. Like, okay, we did that. We bodied it. We did it Monday through Friday. Killed it. It was amazing. And then that brought on this. And then this is going to bring on that. And then all of the people that we're going to talk to, it has just... But it all really started from that simple concept of being held accountable. And then when we realized we needed to be held accountable, we like, okay, what's going to help them once we get off this call? How do y'all keep doing what y'all got to do?
Right.
Let's write it down.
Yeah.
So we were real big on that. I got a notebook. This one is one of them, but I have another one that I started in that essence, and I carry it around like the Bible.
Yep.
I love my God. I carry my Bible. I read my Bible, but my notebook that I write it down in, that's my second Bible. I have that religiously.
Yep.
One thought to my mind. We were just talking today, and I'm like, wait, what do we got to do? I'm writing it down. Like, okay, we got to remember to do this, remember to do that.
I'm saying, hey, make sure you
add
that. Add such. And when we got to where we're at, we're going through our list together. Like, okay, this is what we need to do before we start production.
Exactly.
That's how it goes. So I love it. And I'm glad that that's something that we started because we keep it going. We kept it going. I talked to you before about how that's something that my mother used to instill in me when I was younger. Like, you're so forgetful. You're so forgetful. You need to start writing stuff down. I'd be like, lady, please. But now at this big age, it's like, I'm like my mama. I'm writing that stuff down. My mother told me to write it down. And that's what I do. I write it down. And consistently for the past year, I can definitely see the change that it has made for me personally, in business, personal life, because it's not just about writing down just your goals, right? We're adults. We need to wash clothes, fold them, hang them up. We need to wash dishes, dry them, and put them up.
You need to get this from the grocery store and that. And don't act like that list gonna sit in your head. Because you're gonna get in there and start getting Oreos and forgot you ain't got no damn seasoning.
Come on.
If you didn't write it down.
Let's just be honest with each other about being just intentional, you know, with whatever it is that we're doing and how we're going to do it. You know, and by writing things down, we've noticed that, you know, it's a game changer. And I'm just super, super happy we're here. I'm excited that we've transitioned into a podcast.
Yes, and I cannot wait till all of those people that you see join us and go on their journeys and walks of life. So, Alicia, how can we reach you? If we want to get with you, you find houses, you going to help do what it do. How can I get in contact with you?
Well, I can be contacted. You can call me. 216-235-4344. I'm a Cleveland girl. My Instagram handle is polished, POLISHED, the letter N, paid. I'm going to change that somewhere these days.
I like that though, polished and paid. Period.
Yes. But yes, that's how I can be reached.
Okay.
How can you be reached, love bug?
Same, I'm a Cleveland girl, so you can give me a ring at 216-541-9164. My Instagram handles is real estate with love, WIT. The with was taken. I'm gonna get that. I'm coming for that one. And then collectively, you can find us at _Wake and Hustle is where the podcast and things that we have going on and upcoming will be aired.
Yes.
Also, our YouTube channel, like and subscribe, like my baby would say, like and subscribe.
Like a point.
Yes, at Wake and Hustle. That's where you can find more of our episodes and things that are to come.
Yes.
And we're just excited to have you here, and we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.